Can you give me idea of what makes this time of the season so exciting for you as you anticipate getting ready for the new year?
Well, it's really changed. Back in the day, you didn't really get to see your guys much in the summer by the rules. Now you can work with them a little bit. So I think it makes it even more exciting because you kind of know where you left off in spring and how you developed in the summer. And now to be getting ready for training camp, that to me is a time. I've always said training camp is that time when you make the most growth as a football team. You're doing it every day. That's all there is. There's no other function. You're not in classes. You're not, you're with your teammates. So I think to have a great season, you have to have a great training camp.
And as a coach, you're back now for the second stint at Rutgers. How have things been different for you as far as maybe your philosophy, how things have changed in those 2 stints that you've had?
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is that my own kids graduated high school, went and played college athletics, and I listened to all the phone calls where they were disappointed or upset. And I think I can approach as a head coach with more empathy, understanding. It doesn't mean that I'm any softer or anything like that. I think I'm pretty demanding, but I kind of can see things through a little different lens.
Speaking of your coaching style, how has it changed over the years since you started in coaching and to where you are now? And as you mentioned, you grow wiser and you have so many experiences under your belt now.
Yeah, you almost said that.
I almost said it. I'm older too.
I think the reality is as you go through different experiences, it exposes you to more and kind of gives you perspective. And that's where I am. That your goal is your goal, and that's to win the national championship. If you're playing, you want to win the big prize. But your purpose, we have a lot of young people that are entrusted to us, and especially to me as the head coach. My purpose is to make sure that when they leave Rutgers, they're ready to go be great husbands, great fathers, be productive members of society. I think you can blend those together, though, and really have a great program that does that, and that's what we're working toward at Rutgers.
Yeah, you mentioned in your press conference that this is the best staff you've worked with so far. Can you describe, how you accumulated this group and why each individual fits so perfectly with what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think, you got to get a little bit lucky. You have relationships that maybe directly with someone or with someone that they know, and you just got to make sure that you're focused on what fits your program at this time best. And I made that mistake sometimes. Well, that was great back in 2009. Well, it might not be great in 2023. We have to figure out. With Coach Shiraka, he's been here with us before. To have him come back, it's been great. And like I said, Coach Harasimiak, our defense coordinator, he was here last year, did a great job. The whole defensive staff is back together. I think they have a special chemistry, so I love seeing what I see.
Yeah, and just the changing landscape of college football now. How much does that give you an opportunity, knowing that you trust the guys that are around you, gives you an opportunity to do some different things that are happening in college football now that are also very important?
Yeah, you can go ahead and say it. NIL, yeah. As a head coach, you really have a lot of different tasks you have to perform. Even in the last 18 months, it's changed. So thank goodness we have the staff we do, because there's only 24 hours in the day, and it's been divided differently in the last year or so.
Mm-hmm. News this morning came out that you've decided on your quarterback, at least going into camp, with Gavin at the helm. What made him a good choice at this point to lead the way, to be the quarterback of this team moving forward?
I think he's developed. I think we kind of knew that. Kirk and I knew that come beginning of the summer after we sat down and talked, but there was no reason to rush anything. But he's continued to develop all summer, and I think having that clarity and going into training camp where everybody knows what's going on. And I love Evan Simon. He's been great. He's ready. He'll be ready to go under any circumstance, and I'm excited about both of them.
Speaking of excitement, being in this conference is thrilling, obviously, with a new big media rights deal as well. A lot of eyeballs are now going to be even more so than ever on Rutgers football. Can you just describe the impact that being in the Big Ten Conference has had for the program, the pros, but also the challenges as well?
Yeah. To me, the Big Ten is the sweet spot of elite academics and elite football, way up here. It was 2002. I remember I turned to Tim Pernetti. We had just done our radio show, and I said, we need to get into the Big Ten. And it was a long journey to finally get that accomplished, but we did, and it's great to be here. I think it's a blessing, and I don't think we can ever take it for granted either, right? It's a great league to be a part of, and it's a league that Rutgers belongs in. Now we have to go prove it with our performance.
Yeah. Of all the schools and all the campuses you get to go to, besides Rutgers, what's the most exciting Big Ten venue that you love coaching in?
I can't pick one. There's so many great ones. Yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't do that. Plus, I wouldn't want the the wrath of when I walked into that one place. Oh yeah, you love it? We'll show you.
Of all the places you've coached in the NFL and college, I mean, what has been the best coaching experience for you in all your years? One of the fondest memories you have?
Oh, that's a tough one. I've had a lot. I've been around a lot of great people, a lot of great head coaches that mentored me. My time at the University of Miami was special. We had such a collection of talent there under Butch Davis. But I really think being at Rutgers, being in my home state, being in a place that I love, a state that I love, and being able to represent that university and that state, after we built it the first time, it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun doing it at home. And I look forward to doing that again here the second time, and I think it'll be a lot more fun doing it in the Big Ten Conference.
Pretty unique that you get to coach in your home state where you were, born and raised and played football yourself. So let me get to some Jersey questions for you.
Sure.
What is the most New Jersey thing about you?
That's a good one. How much I like Bruce.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question, Bruce or Bon Jovi, but you just answered it. So how many times have you seen him in concert?
Ooh, at least 10.
Yeah? All right. Most memorable experience from it? Is there a favorite song? Or?
One show, it was late in my first tenure there. Myself and our strength coach, Jay Butler, and our wives, we all went up to the show, and somebody gave me his playlist. So I knew it in advance. Yeah, and I didn't tell anybody, so I was kind of predicting it, and then eventually they caught on. But that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I love it. Give us a New Jersey stereotype that's actually true.
That's actually true. We have the best food.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And we do.
Speaking of food, there is obviously an online controversy that goes back and forth. Rutgers athletes are on at a Twitter sphere about Taylor ham or pork roll, right? So what do you, what's your...
I go Taylor ham.
Yeah, you're a North Jersey girl.
Yeah.
Okay, Guy. Who's the best football player to come out of New Jersey?
That's a very tough question. The best football player to come out of New Jersey. There's too many of them. I don't know. There's been so many. Yeah.
When you get out of a game and you're back home at night and you've got a chance to, be back with your family and the game's over with, what exactly do you do during that time? Do you think about what happened on the field? Do you try to turn things off and focus on it the next day? What's your approach after games?
Usually we watch whoever's on at night, right? I'm not a big, go out after the game guy. We'll get a pizza and watch the game. And whoever's playing, usually it's a friend, after doing this so long, somebody that's playing that night. Or it has an impact on you, so you're rooting hard. But and again, I have a football family, right? My wife's been around it her whole life, our kids. So, if they're in for the game, we'll all sit around and watch the next game.
The coaching tree is pretty unique in college football, and you've had the chance to be in the pro level as well. And I know you bring back Bill Belichick a lot to campus and to speak to your team. Can you describe the relationship you have with him and the importance that he's had on your career?
Well, I'm really fortunate that Bill's been very generous with me, with information, with access, and I've learned so much. Steven, his son, went to Rutgers and was on the lacrosse team, and later was a long snapper for us his final year, his fifth year. But that gave me an opportunity to really get to know Coach, and he has shared and been so generous with his time, his knowledge, and it's been a big help. And hopefully we've returned it with some players that have helped win games in New England, which I'm very proud of. I think there's a lot of similarities in the way the programs are run, and I think our guys fit in well there.
Yeah, the McCourties, of course, being the first that we think of with that. How often are you in communication with former players of yours, and how much do they stay in touch with you, and vice versa?
A lot. The neat thing that's easy is text. When I got into this, there was no text. There was no such thing. So you had to make a phone call, and those are harder. But guys will text all the time, and funny stories and pictures, but it's cool to see them with their wife and their children, and to see that. That's pretty cool.
You talk so much about the importance of growing these young men into good humans and good fathers and role models down the road. What are you most proud of as being a head coach?
Well, that goes back kind of to like your goal and your purpose. And there was times where I struggled with that, right? Especially when I was younger and just there was one singular focus. But I look at it now, and I'm really proud of when I see a lot of guys text me a picture of them with their team at their office or their factory or whatever they're doing, and they're using a lot of the things that we taught them. They're chopping. The whole group is chopping. To me, that what's better than that? To see them, when they send a text and say, "Coach, I can't believe it, but I'm saying exactly what you used to say to us to my 8-year-old son. That's good stuff.
And when you think back to those defining moments in your career, I mean, was there ever a time where you just talked about you had to change, early on in your career, change your philosophy a little bit, you were a little hard on guys. Was there a defining moment where you realized maybe you wanted to change a little bit as far as how your approach was with certain athletes, either at the pro level or at the college level?
Yeah, I think at my second year at Tampa, I kind of figured out, unfortunately it was too late, but I figured out what pro football was about. When I came back to Rutgers, when I went to Ohio State, I enjoyed being an assistant at times, other times I didn't. But when I came back to Rutgers, I said, you know what, it feels more like a partnership with them than me driving them. It feels like we're in it more together, and I enjoy that. Now, part of it is I'm not coaching the defense. A lot of years I was the defensive coordinator, and man, you have to be on top of every detail and driving it. So I get the thing that I said when I came back is I wanted to be available for the players, and I enjoy that. They'll come in my office and plop down, and sometimes they just start spilling, what's bothering them. And to me, that's if I can do that for guys and they feel comfortable enough to do that, then I think we got something special.
Yeah, you've done your job well, right, at that point. What's the best game that you've ever been a part of at any level in football?
Yeah, I'd say the Louisville game in '06. I've been a part of a lot of NFL, a lot of college championship games, but that game, that whole day, that whole experience had something special. That was kind of one of those ordained moments.
I remember it well. When you have those moments, I mean, you learn so much in those moments, and obviously they're very unique, but how do you build from them? You're looking at a program now that's trying to build and trying to keep pace in the Big Ten. How do you take moments like that and build on them?
Well, I think our fan base longs for that, right? They long to have games of significance. Nighttime football has always been big at Rutgers for whatever reason. So I think, we need to build new memories like that for our fan base. I think New Jersey is, you talk about a pro sports area. There's 3 pro football teams within a 45-minute ride of our campus. So yes, there may be no more a pro sports area, but I do know that when we won in our first go-around, it also became a college sports area, and it became a college football area. And we had something in the 22 consecutive sellouts. We need to get back to that, and that's the goal.
Can you feel that with the fans? I mean, when you came back to Rutgers and there was so much hype and so much excitement, can you feel that pulse from the fan base, knowing that they've got your back and they're rallying behind this program right now?
I do. I think maybe when we first came back, they said, "Oh, we'll go back to be the way it was when he left." It doesn't happen like that. Again, you have to know who you are. It's not going to be like that here. We have to build it. And then all of a sudden, when they're 21, 22, 23 years old, they're grown men, they understand our program. Now, if they can go play their best football, that's when we start to win big. And we're getting close. We've been there. This will be our 4th season. So we got some guys that have really been with us for a while and have developed, and now are grown-ups. And those guys got to go play their best ball. And I got 3 of them with me here today at the media day that they need to go play their best ball because we need them.
We do want to know about the traditions you've created on your team that you are most proud of. And I know we've talked a lot about the culture, but what are some of the traditions specifically?
I do think traditions occur organically. One of the things we started when we first came to Rutgers back in 2000, it's called the Scarlet Walk. We had something that's very special and unique to Rutgers. We played in the first college football game, and we have a statue that commemorates that. So when we get off the bus, our fans line the Scarlet Walk, and every player touches the statue commemorating the first game. So I love that. I love that on game day, getting off the buses, the fans are hyped. It's really grown. Now they have stage and a band and all kinds of stuff, but it's really fun, and I think it puts these guys, they're already in the right mindset, but doing that Scarlet Walk with all our fans, I think just takes them to another level and then sends them into the locker room to get ready to go.
I heard you talking at the press conference, too, when the question was asked about recruiting in New Jersey, the Don Boscos, the big schools that promote and pump out good players, and they go to a lot of other universities. And you talked about needing a specific player that's going to fit into the Rutgers mold, not just a Jersey kid. So can you describe, when you're recruiting, what you're selling with this program and who the perfect fit is for this program?
Well, we're not selling. I don't ever want it to, because this is someone's life, right? So what I'm trying to do is say, this is who we are. We're looking for unselfish players, right, to tell the truth and do the right thing. We'll teach you how to chop, because that's a skill. But the other 2, we have to recruit those. If we think we're going to get a guy at 17 or 18 years old and we're going to make him unselfish, no chance, right? they've been raised a certain way. And what our job is to go locate, identify, and then recruit them. And sometimes you locate and identify and you can't get them. That's the hard part. But what good does it do to go spend a lot of time recruiting and getting a guy if a year or two from now he's not a fit, culturally he doesn't fit, and he doesn't want to fit. That's not what he wants to be. Now you've wasted everybody's time and a lot of money and all those things.
Heading into the season, final question, what can you tell Rutgers fans, the fan base, to be excited about as we get ready to cheer on the Scarlet Knights this year?
We play in the best league in college football, and we're getting better, and we're just going to keep getting better, and those wins will start to come and get back to the days when our fans could plan their holiday trips around our bowls. That's where we need to get back to.